"Somewhere inside you there's a voice that knows all things," Carl Jung wrote. Yet every morning, millions of workers silence that voice beneath the roar of email alerts, back-to-back meetings, and never-ending to-do lists. In sleek offices and cramped home workspaces alike, people trade soul-stirring purpose for ego-driven metrics, revenue targets, quarterly KPIs, and LinkedIn endorsements. Meet Jason, a 35-year-old project manager whose career ascended swiftly to six-figure earnings and corporate accolades. On the surface, he seemed to have it all. Behind closed doors, however, he wrestled nightly with insomnia, chronic exhaustion, and a hollow ache where passion once burned. Jason's story isn't unique. Today's workplace burnout rates rival pandemic levels, fueled by an always-on culture that conflates busyness with worth. Surveys reveal that nearly three-quarters of professionals experience significant stress at work, with half reporting emotional exhaustion so severe it impairs performance and personal relationships. Companies spend billions on wellness programs and resilience training, yet burnout persists, and in some cases deepens, as underlying spiritual and psychological needs go unaddressed. Jung warned that when the ego, the conscious identity built on roles, achievements, and external validations, dominates life, the soul's voice grows faint, even imperceptible. The ego demands more responsibility, more output, more recognition, yet the soul craves meaning, creativity, and alignment with one's deepest values. When these forces collide, burnout emerges as the soul's distress signal, a psychic alarm announcing that career and self are out of harmony. For Jason, burnout began as fatigue. He chalked it up to heavy workloads and tight deadlines. But soon, the fatigue mutated into cynicism. He felt disconnected from his team, uninterested in client meetings, and indifferent to successes that once thrilled him. His weekends, formerly times of rest and recreation, became catch-up sessions, cramming errands and side projects into a brief respite. His identity shrank to a single question: what will tomorrow's deliverables demand? A turning point arrived during an early morning commute, when Jason caught a glimpse of his reflection in a train window. The man staring back wore hollow eyes and a forced smile. He barely recognized himself. In that instant, Jung's words echoed, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart." Jason realized he had been neglecting that inner light, dimmed by the constant glare of professional obligations. Burnout statistics quantify the crisis but cannot illuminate the remedy. Jung's soul versus ego framework, however, offers a roadmap. The ego, essential for navigating the outer world, becomes toxic when it monopolizes attention and defines worth solely by achievement. The soul, a deeper facet of the psyche, seeks authentic expression and connection to something greater than immediate goals. When career paths honor only egoic advancement, the soul suffers its own form of death, one marked by apathy, meaninglessness, and existential anxiety. Identifying this split is the first step toward healing. Jason began noticing the moments when he felt most alive: spontaneous bursts of creativity during weekend painting classes, a sense of awe while watching his daughter learn to ride a bike, the quiet joy of reading poetry before bed. These experiences, Jung would argue, are soul-sourced. They stem not from achievement but from internal resonance and engagement with life's mysteries. Recognizing soul moments amid burnout doesn't solve the crisis overnight, but it provides a compass. For Jason, tuning into these experiences revealed a vocational gap. His current role fed his ego's craving for status, but starved his soul's hunger for creative problem-solving and mentorship. The data on burnout underscores how prevalent this misalignment is. Workers worldwide are leaving jobs, changing fields, or quitting the workforce entirely in search of roles that nourish their inner lives. Jung's career warning emerges clearly. Career success measured solely by external markers will eventually exact a psychic toll. Burnout, far from a personal failing, signals a deeper misalignment between soul and ego. To heal, individuals must shift focus from what the world demands to what the soul invites, reclaiming work as an arena for self-discovery rather than a battleground for performance. Jason's awakening began with a simple question: what work would I pursue if I weren't worried about paychecks or prestige? In volatile economic climates, posing such a question can feel risky, yet the alternative, pressing on without soul alignment, promises only further depletion. As burnout statistics climb and mental health concerns escalate, Jung's insights on soul and ego offer a timely counterpoint. Sustainable careers must integrate both outer success and inner fulfillment. The crisis of workplace burnout demands more than surface-level solutions. It calls for a reframing of career itself from a linear ascent of ego achievements to a dynamic journey of individuation where work becomes an expression of the soul's unique purpose. Legend holds that in the depths of despair, true calling often emerges. As Jason's experience illustrates, burnout can become the soul's catalyst, an invitation to examine life's deeper dimensions and realign career with authentic vocation. In the heart of every career lies a tension between two powerful forces: the ego, which builds identity on accomplishments, and the soul, which seeks deeper meaning. Jung described the ego as the part of the psyche that navigates the outer world, jobs, ambitions, and social roles. It thrives on recognition, success metrics, and the adrenaline of achievement. Yet when the ego alone defines life's purpose, the soul, the source of creativity, intuition, and inner fulfillment, becomes neglected. This imbalance sets the stage for burnout, as the soul's unspoken needs fester beneath the surface of relentless striving. The ego-driven career tempts individuals with clear targets, promotions, salaries, and status symbols. It promises validation through external applause. Jessica, a corporate attorney, exemplified this path. She climbed the firm's ranks swiftly, her calendar jammed with high-stakes negotiations and after-hours networking receptions. Each win reinforced her identity as a legal powerhouse. Yet behind her polished facade, a persistent emptiness tugged at her core. The late nights and wins felt hollow, spurring a relentless pursuit of the next milestone in hopes of filling the void. By contrast, a soul-driven vocation resonates with inner longings and aligns with personal values. It emerges from activities that feel inherently valuable, regardless of external rewards. When Jessica volunteered at a community legal aid center, she experienced a curious shift. Her legal skills felt alive, and her clients' gratitude unlocked emotions often dormant under corporate armor. These moments, Jung would say, reveal the soul's calling. They echo symbols and themes in dreams and imagination, pointing toward authentic work that integrates individual gifts with collective needs. The soul's voice, however, rarely shouts. It speaks through subtle cues, recurring dreams of teaching rather than courtroom drama, an inner tug toward creative writing, or a gut response that lights up when solving clients' real-life problems. Jung urged paying attention to these signals. He believed that the psyche communicates through images and feelings, symbols arising from the unconscious that guide toward individuation, the lifelong process of becoming one's true self. Ego-driven careers often suppress these signals. Over time, the incessant demands of performance dull introspection. Jessica's dream journal went unwritten, and her creative impulses went untested. As the ego grew more insistent, urging higher billable hours and cutting personal time, the soul's whispers fell silent. Without conscious attunement, she lost touch with motivations beyond promotions. Her work became an endless treadmill of tasks, rather than an expression of purpose. Burnout emerges from this split. With each egoic success, the soul sinks deeper into neglect. Energy becomes tied to external validation, and any shortfall triggers anxiety and self-doubt. Jessica's physical exhaustion and irritability mirrored her inner conflict, a psyche misaligned, trying to meet the ego's demands at the cost of soul nourishment. She found herself questioning the point of her career. Was she practicing law or merely performing a role scripted by societal expectations? Jung would argue that the remedy lies in reintegrating ego and soul through conscious career choice. Rather than abandoning ambition, individuals must cultivate awareness of soul messages and adapt their work accordingly. This reintegration begins by differentiating between egoic wants, status, power, wealth, and soulful desires, creativity, service, inner growth. For Jessica, seeing her work at the Legal Aid Center ignited a soul-aligned desire to teach and empower underrepresented communities. Though her ego hesitated, afraid of losing prestige, the soul's pull grew stronger than external accolades. Recognizing this dynamic, Jessica negotiated a hybrid role at her firm, dedicating one afternoon per week to pro bono work and internal workshops on community engagement. The adjustment did not diminish her career success. Rather, it infused her ego-driven performance with soul-driven passion. Her courtroom arguments gained authenticity, her colleagues noticed renewed energy, and her burnout symptoms subsided as her work felt meaningful once more. Jung's distinction between soul-driven vocation and ego-driven career offers a framework for sustainable professional fulfillment. The ego remains vital for navigating external responsibilities, yet it functions best when anchored by the soul's guiding light. Soul-aligned work transforms tasks into contributions, deadlines into purposeful challenges, and achievements into expressions of inner values. For many professionals, the path toward integration begins by carving space for soul reflection. This might involve maintaining a dream journal, exploring symbolic themes in personal narratives, or scheduling regular solitude away from work pressures. By tuning into inner dialogues, what excites, what drains, and what resonates, individuals can identify soul cues pointing to authentic vocation. When ego and soul collaborate, careers become more than survival mechanisms. They turn into vehicles for psychological growth and collective contribution. Jessica's regained vitality and sense of purpose testify to this synergy. No longer trapped in burnout's abyss, she experienced both career success and soul satisfaction, illustrating that the ego's skills flourish most when guided by the soul's deeper wisdom. In modern workplaces where burnout looms large, Jung's soul versus ego paradigm provides both diagnosis and remedy. Recognizing the ego's achievements as insufficient for soul fulfillment, individuals can realign their careers through conscious choices that honor both outer performance and inner purpose. By heeding the soul's subtle signals and integrating them into daily work, it becomes possible not only to survive professional demands, but to transform careers into authentic expressions of the self. Finding work that sustains rather than depletes the soul begins with discerning one's authentic vocation amid the clamor of external expectations. Whereas the ego-driven career chases titles and pay raises, the soul-driven vocation resonates with inner longings and innate capacities. Recognizing these clues requires attuning to the subtle signals the psyche sends, recurrent interests, moments of flow, and emotional responses that reveal true calling. Consider Aaron, a financial analyst who excelled at spreadsheets and market forecasts. He achieved top performance ratings, earned bonuses, and secured senior roles. Yet despite outward success, Aaron felt listless. Mornings began with a pit in his stomach rather than anticipation. During a volunteer stint teaching budgeting at a local nonprofit, he noticed a spark. Helping struggling families regain financial stability brought tears of relief to their eyes and a deep satisfaction he had never known in corporate boardrooms. That experience illuminated a vocational theme, combining analytical skill with service to empower others. Jung emphasized that the soul communicates through symbols and emotions. For Aaron, the symbol wasn't a mythological figure, but the grateful faces of community members he taught. His emotions, empathy, purpose, and hope spoke louder than performance metrics. Soul resonance often shows up as a sense of timelessness. Hours feel like minutes, and as a deep, pleasurable absorption in the task. Identifying these experiences helps differentiate between egoic satisfaction, which fades once the target is reached, and soulful fulfillment, which endures regardless of external reward. Inner exploration begins with reflective practices. Keeping a vocational journal invites individuals to record daily activities that ignite enthusiasm versus those that drain energy. Patterns emerge. Recurring themes reveal areas where competence and passion intersect. Jung's principle of the unity of opposites, where skill meets inspiration. For Aaron, charting his daily moods showed that problem-solving tasks performed for profit felt hollow, whereas problem-solving for people in need energized him. Dreams and fantasies also offer clues. Jung believed that the unconscious uses dream imagery to guide individuals toward individuation. Aaron began capturing dreams that featured teaching, community gatherings, and symbols of nourishment, images pointing toward a vocation centered on education and empowerment. Even daydreams, moments when his mind wandered during meetings, often centered on workshop designs and community initiatives. These mental meanderings provided covert directives from the soul, suggesting a path beyond his current role. Active imagination, another Jungian technique, bridges conscious intention and unconscious creativity. Aaron set aside 10 minutes each morning to visualize a conversation between his analytical mind and his soul's yearning. He imagined his ego speaking of stability and prestige, while the soul countered with service and human connection. This dialogue revealed internal conflicts and helped Aaron integrate disparate desires, charting a career path that honored both financial acumen and social contribution. Beyond introspection, exploring new avenues broadens vocational awareness. Internships, short courses, or volunteering in different sectors allow hands-on testing of emerging interests. Aaron signed up for a week-long workshop on adult education, shadowed non-profit instructors, and helped develop community financial literacy materials. These experiences deepened his sense of alignment. He felt more engaged, time flowed effortlessly, and setbacks felt like learning opportunities rather than threats to self-worth. Identifying authentic vocation also benefits from honest feedback. Trusted mentors and peers can shed light on natural strengths and untapped passions. Aaron's nonprofit supervisor noted his exceptional ability to translate complex financial concepts into relatable stories, a talent he had overlooked. Such external validation from those who observe one's gifts in soulful contexts offers confirmation that vocation lies in these domains. Financial realities and practical constraints inevitably shape career decisions. Integrating soul-driven vocation may require gradual transitions, maintaining current roles while building passion projects on the side. Aaron began consulting for non-profits in his spare time, creating a bridge between his analytical expertise and his emerging vocation. This dual path provided stability while allowing him to test soulful work, adapt to its demands, and build confidence in his capacity to serve. The process of discovering authentic vocation is dynamic, not a one-time event. As individuals evolve, the soul's calling may shift, and careers require continuous realignment. Jung's concept of individuation underscores lifelong growth. Work serves as the primary arena for integrating new aspects of self. Aaron's journey illustrates that vocation emerges through iterative cycles of reflection, exploration, and integration. Embracing authentic vocation yields profound benefits. Work becomes a source of renewal rather than exhaustion. The soul's light infuses tasks with resilience and creativity. For Aaron, burnout dissipated as he dedicated more hours to educational initiatives. His analytical expertise now channeled toward nourishing others. His sense of purpose deepened, and his professional identity expanded to include mentor, educator, and community builder, alongside financial expert. In a culture that equates career success with external metrics, discerning authentic vocation demands countercultural courage, prioritizing inner fulfillment over conventional accolades. Yet Jung's wisdom affirms that the soul's calling leads to true flourishing. By tuning into soulful signals, journals, dreams, active imagination, and testing emerging interests through practical exploration, individuals can identify vocations that honor both their gifts and the world's needs. In doing so, work transforms from a battleground of burnout into an inspiring canvas for soulful expression and collective contribution. Aaron and Jessica's realizations set the stage for the active work of career individuation, aligning outer roles with inner purpose. Jung outlined practices that illuminate and integrate the unconscious dynamics shaping vocation. The first step is dream analysis. Dreams often present metaphors for vocational themes. Jason, who dreamed repeatedly of standing before a locked gate, explored the symbol and discovered it mirrored his feelings of blocked creativity in a rigid corporate role. Recording dreams upon waking and identifying recurring images helps reveal hidden yearnings the soul expresses when the ego suppresses them. Journaling scenes and emotions, then reflecting on possible vocational implications, creates a dialogue with the unconscious. Next comes active imagination, a technique of engaging consciously with dream or fantasy imagery. Jessica visualized herself in courtroom robes dissolving into a teacher's gown, then imagined dialogue between the lawyer ego and the teacher soul. This inner conversation highlighted her resistance to a teaching role and surfaced fears that teaching lacked status. Consciously engaging these images allowed her to negotiate a hybrid career that honored both her legal expertise and her soul's longing to educate. Shadow integration follows. Jung defined the shadow as the rejected or unconscious aspects of the psyche. Many professionals project unmet soul needs onto external work contexts. Aaron discovered his shadow lay in suppressed creativity. He had dismissed his poetic interests as impractical and buried them under spreadsheets. By acknowledging his creative side, writing poems, sketching storyboards, he reclaimed shadow qualities as vocational assets. Embracing shadow aspects expands one's sense of possible work and enriches professional identity beyond conventional roles. Engaging symbolic work is another individuation tool. Jung believed that mythic or symbolic narratives parallel personal development. Jason chose ancient myths of guide figures, Hermes and Athena, to reflect career challenges and strengths. He mapped his own journey onto mythic templates. Hermes' communication skills spoke to his gift for translating complexity into clarity. Athena's wisdom pointed to his capacity for mentoring. These symbols offered a language for articulating authentic vocation beyond job titles. Integrating these practices, individuals create what Jung called a transcendent function, the union of conscious and unconscious elements. This integration often takes the form of concrete action plans. Both Aaron and Jessica drafted career maps. They listed current skills and sole interests, then identified pivot opportunities. Aaron committed to part-time financial workshops for nonprofits, gradually shifting to a full-time role as a community finance advisor. Jessica negotiated pro bono teaching assignments within her firm and developed an internal training program, blending her courtroom skills with education. Friendship and mentorship support deepen the individuation process, sharing dreams, shadow discoveries, and symbolic insights with a trusted mentor or peer group provides accountability and fresh perspectives. Jung emphasized the importance of relational contexts for safely exploring unconscious material. Jessica found a small cohort of colleagues also exploring vocational realignment. Their shared reflections spurred creative ideas for integrating teaching modules into casework. Finally, setting ongoing rites of passage cements vocational transitions. Jung valued ritual to mark psychological shifts. Aaron celebrated each milestone, completing his first community workshop, publishing an article on financial empowerment with a personal ceremony, a silent walk in nature, and a journal entry reflecting on lessons learned. Such rituals affirm the soul's emergence and signal new professional identities to both the psyche and the social world. Career individuation is neither instantaneous nor linear. It unfolds through cycles of insight, experimentation, and integration. By practicing dream analysis, active imagination, shadow work, symbolic inquiry, and supportive rituals, professionals gradually realign ego-driven careers to soul-driven vocations. In doing so, they transform burnout into breakthrough, turning work into a living canvas for authentic self-expression and meaningful contribution. Career transformation unfolds into a larger vision, embracing purpose-driven work that nourishes both soul and society. When Jason, Jessica, and Aaron reoriented their careers toward authentic vocation, they entered a new chapter where work transcended tasks and fueled meaning. Jung's insight guides this evolution. Purpose-driven work is an outward expression of inner wholeness, a harmonization of personal gifts with collective needs. Purpose-driven work resists the fragmentation of egoic careers, where success is measured solely by performance metrics and external rewards. It invites professionals to ask enduring questions. How does my work serve others? In what ways does it honor my deeper values and passions? What contributions am I uniquely positioned to offer? For Jason, combining his love of communication with mentorship led him to create workshops empowering younger employees, turning corporate demands into meaningful dialogue. Jessica merged legal expertise with education, establishing programs that amplified marginalized voices. Aaron shifted his analytical skills toward nonprofits serving vulnerable populations, discovering fulfillment in shared growth. This realignment disrupts conventional career paradigms as individuals prioritize integrity, service, and creativity alongside achievement. It fosters resilience against burnout, as meaning buffers stress and renews motivation. Purpose-driven professionals tap into a sustainable wellspring of passion, where setbacks become lessons and success is measured in lives touched. The paradox emerges that letting go of egoic control often expands influence and satisfaction. Practical strategies sustain this integration. Setting clear boundaries protects against overwork. Scheduling sacred times for soul reflection and creative pursuits replenishes energy. Cultivating community with like-minded mentors and peers creates a support network that reinforces authentic choices. Engaging in ongoing self-inquiry through journaling, meditation, and symbolic exploration keeps vocation aligned with evolving inner landscapes. Jason practices monthly retreats focusing on dream journaling and visioning. Jessica maintains weekly creative writing. Aaron volunteers as a mentor and seeks feedback from community members. These practices deepen soul connection and fuel purposeful action. Organizations play a vital role by creating cultures that value authenticity and holistic well-being. When workplaces support flexible roles, meaningful projects, and employee reflection, purpose-driven careers flourish. Companies benefit through enhanced innovation, engagement, and retention, evidence that soul-aligned work is both good for people and business. Jason's firm launched internal mentorship programs and community partnerships inspired by his leadership, exemplifying how purpose ripples outward. Jung's career warning resonates strongly today. Unless individuals consciously nurture soul alongside ego, work risks becoming a toxic cycle of burnout and disconnection. Yet his vision also offers hope. The path of individuation invites reclaiming career as a sacred journey toward wholeness. Purpose-driven work transforms daily labor into creative expression, outer contribution, and inner fulfillment. Jason, Jessica, and Aaron's experiences illustrate that purpose is not a fixed destination but a living process. It demands courage to face uncertainties, integrate shadow parts, and redefine success beyond societal scripts. Yet the rewards surpass the costs: deeper engagement, resilience, and a legacy of meaningful impact. As digital distractions and burnout escalate globally, reconnecting work with soul becomes imperative for psychological health and collective flourishing. In a world captivated by speed and output, Jung's timeless wisdom calls for slowing down to listen to the soul's subtle voice. Purpose-driven careers emerge when individuals cultivate self-awareness, confront inner conflicts, and align actions with authentic values. Such careers honor the mystery and uniqueness of each person's journey, transforming work from mere survival to a vibrant expression of life's deeper calling. The challenge and the invitation stands clear. Is the next chapter a continuation of ego exhaustion, or will it be the blossoming of soul-filled vocation? For those who choose the latter, work no longer kills the soul, but becomes its nurturing crucible, igniting the fire of purpose that fuels joyful and sustainable living.